Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Storyist. Today, I will be sharing with you a story about a stolen Valor, when a fake Marine gets exposed by a real veteran. Stay until the end of the video to find out what happens next. Dexter is a nice young lad who lives a pretty normal life. He is always polite to everyone, and he is well liked by many. He lives in a little suburban town with his mother in a nice white bungalow house. Everything is very countryside for Dexter. While the rest of the world relies on mobile phones, computers, internet, and basically technology, Dexter is still getting all of his news from their family television situated in their living room. He bikes his way to school, and his mother sells eggs, fruits, and vegetables every morning in the market. Sometimes she sells her own food creations too. Dexter's mom loves cooking, and it has been one of her means of income since her husband, Dexter's father, died in a mission to protect the country's naval bases. Their family is doing pretty well before the tragedy happens, but it has never been good again since life took away their most precious father. Dexter's father, Rupert, is a former U.S. Marine, and he is one of the declared heroes of the latest attack in the country. Rupert is very well known in their suburban town because he is nice and is well loved by many, and everyone is so pleased when his son Dexter grew up to be just like him. Whenever Rupert is home in their small town, he makes sure everyone will receive gifts from him, such as fruit baskets or toys for the kids. Dexter loves his father very much, and if there is someone he idolized deeply growing up, it's none other than his father. He looks up to his father like a celebrity, or his very own hero. He always tells tales about his father in his school, narrating to his classmates how his father is a real-life hero without a cape. He tells them how he and his troops stop wars and other chaos to engulf their country. Everyone always loves his story, and they love asking him about his father. Instantly, Dexter's dad becomes not only his hero, but every little kid's hero in their suburban town. But what Dexter doesn't know about his father's job is how dangerous it could be. All his life, Dexter thinks his father is invincible. He always asks him to tell him bedtime stories about his training and about how he fights the enemies whenever he is home. But all the time, Dexter thinks his father can conquer anything, any single cannon and every single enemy. That is also the very reason why Dexter wants to enter the Marines when he grows up. He wants to be just like his father. He wants to fight the enemies of their country, and he wants to be celebrated as a hero in their little suburban town. Whenever his father is home, he will always ask him about his training, how they prepare for fights, what he eats, and everything he needs to know before entering the army. His father is always pleased to know that his son has interest in what he does, and he is always flattered to realize that he is his son's very own hero. One morning, when they are going to Dexter's school for Family Day, the theme is superhero costumes, and Rupert was surprised when Dexter asked for a Marine costume for children. He thought his son would ask him for Superman or Batman's costume of some sort. But he was shocked when his son said this to him. "Don't you want a Superman costume or anything? I'm sure all your classmates will be going as actual superheroes," Rupert said to Dexter. But Dexter just shook his head and replied, "While everyone else has Superman as their heroes, I have you instead. And that's an actual superhero." Rupert was very moved by this, and because of that moment, he knew that his son was really destined to be a Marine like him. So he started training Dexter the same way they trained him before entering the Navy. Even at a young age of 12, he trained Dexter to be one of the best Marines in history. However, what Dexter desired for his future seemed to be really far from what he was meant to be. Although he had been training relentlessly when he was younger, he grew up to develop a heart ailment, which halted him from training. His father was devastated to learn what his son was about to go through. But Dexter was not thinking about that. He thought of the lost chance of joining the Marines. He wanted to serve the country just like his dad did. He wanted to go home and bring baskets of fruit to his neighbors. He wanted to fight the enemies of his country and be celebrated as a real-life hero. He was no Superman, but he wanted to make the world a better place, because that was how his father envisioned his job, and that was how he wanted to end up like. Growing up, Dexter had to constantly go to his doctor for checkups. But ever since he was diagnosed with this sickness, he became the complete contrast of the jolly and energetic boy everybody used to know. He became sad, and he often avoids people. He doesn't want to communicate with others, and he likes isolating himself. And then one day, when Dexter is 19 years old, he receives a very tragic news. The Marine headquarters calls their home while they are eating breakfast. Dexter is trying out a Marine hat, the one his father accidentally left 2 weeks ago when he left. His mother answers the phone, and she almost drops it and gasps. When Dexter asks his mother about the news, she just tells him to rush to the hospital. And when the two of them get there, he sees his father's lifeless body in the hospital bed, along with other Marines. He cries desperately, not believing what happened. He used to know his father as the invincible Marine he looked up to. He never once imagined that his father would be defeated someday. Since that day, Dexter has become more aloof. He never interacts with other people, even those whom he grew up with, inside their tiny neighborhood. But he also became more obsessed with joining the Marines. Following his father's demise, his mother thought he would never want to speak about the U.S. Marines ever again. But instead, it has been his goal to join. But when he applies, he is rejected right away because he is not fit to join because of his heart condition. Heartbroken, Dexter continues to wear the uniform of his father. He goes around their community wearing it, and sometimes this causes people to panic and believe that Rupert has risen from his grave, because Dexter looks almost exactly the same as his father. And one day, Dexter brings this obsession a little too far. He goes to a restaurant exclusive for Marines while wearing his father's uniform complete with the cap. When he gets there, he is not questioned, because who would question someone who is wearing a used uniform? But then, an old man turns out to be a real Marine veteran, walks up to him and asks,
"Wait a minute, I don't know you. What are you doing here?"
Dexter insists to the man that he is a Marine, and that the man's loud voice is starting to call other Marines' attention. Soon enough, all the other Marines inside the restaurant are gathered around them, and they all claim not to see him somewhere. Then the real veteran takes off his cap and exposes him to everyone.
"Fake!"
he exclaims, and everyone throws him their boos. But then he confesses his true story about why he is there. He goes to the wall and points them to a group photo. He points to his father's direction and tells everyone how he adored his father growing up, how he wanted to be like all of them in the Navy, and how he wanted to fight for the country and be a hero. But then he tells them how his father was consumed by a chaos in the naval base he was assigned in. And it turns out almost all of the Marines in that restaurant knew his father. They tell him how friendly Rupert was and how he made everyone laugh. They tell him as well that they were all at the same naval base when the chaos happened, and they apologize to Dexter for not being able to save his father. Then the Marine veteran approaches him and gives him a badge that only Marines wear.
"Just like your father, you are as fit as any of us to be a hero, because being a hero does not lie on your achievements, but on your desire to protect others,"
the veteran says, and they all lift him up in the air like a real winner. Dexter may not have been a Marine, but he was given a lifetime pass to the exclusive restaurant. That's all for today. We hope you enjoyed that video, and we'll see you in the next.